Hello and welcome to Tell Me RUNE, or Tell Me Are You Not Entertained? This is episode 11. Just to let everybody know, we are pre-recording this episode because we will be busy the next coming week when this is coming out. So we're doing a new pre-recorded episode. So if you guys thought we were going live every time, well, you're wrong. We're pre-recording this one. I'm your co-host, Andrew.
And Leilani.
All right, and let's just get into it. So I was watching the NBA Finals last night, and the new Black Panther trailer came out. So it was premiered during the NBA Finals, Game 4. We're not going to talk about it. Game 4, and then it was released on the internet, and now it's exploding all over the internet. YouTube, movie sites, Screen Rant, and Reddit is going all bananas for it. Personally, I think it looks really, really good. What was your first impressions of it?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Black Panther. I don't know much about him. That's why I'm not a big fan, per se. I'm probably will be after the movie. But I was fangirling over it because of the actors in it that I know. And then also the music that they were using for the teaser trailer. So I was all over it.
I think it looks really, really good. And the best promo they could have had for this was Captain America Civil War, because he just came off, everybody loved him after that. They portrayed the character in a really cool fashion. They gave him enough role in the movie, even though it wasn't his movie. They gave him enough to stand out a little bit, and I think that's where everybody was just that's that one thing where Marvel's well, hopefully this catches, because we've already been shooting the movie and this is going to come out. And then everything came out, and then everybody's we need a Black Panther movie, stat. And then that's when Marvel's well, now that you mention it, we have this. I think it's really awesome. I love all the characters in it. It doesn't seem like one of these Ant-Man movies where it's just going to be oh, this is him becoming this. He's already established in Civil War, and this is clearly, I think, taking place after Civil War. So he's already established. He already seems cool. And I mean, some of these shots, I'm watching it while I'm talking. So I'm some of these shots are amazing. When he's flipping over the car and stuff. I don't know. I think this is going to be one of the biggest grossing Marvel movies of all time. And I'm really excited to say that, because I mean, it wasn't since Iron Man that I think people have gotten really super excited about this, because it's a superhero that we don't really know about, and then it's not being played by one of these actors we've seen 10,000 times as somebody different, and I should say, it's not they're using anything to crutch him. There's nothing to crutch this movie. There's not billions of super well-known actors in it. It has Martin Freeman, it has Andy Serkis, but it does, and it has Michael B. Jordan. But it's not oh, Ant-Man has Captain America in it. Chris Evans shows up here, and oh, this legendary star is over here with Michael Douglas. Oh, and this guy's over here, and it's it doesn't seem and it's not being played by Paul Rudd or Robert Downey Jr. So I don't know. I'm just super excited, and I know the internet. I went on the Twitter during the Game 4, and the game was so bad that people stopped talking about the game and was yeah, but that Black Panther trailer, though. So to me, it's going to be exciting.
I'm just interested in his backstory, because I feel as though it's going to be more in depth versus some of the other ones. Not to say that they aren't, but with, finding the metal, and then, I don't know, and especially since it's not going to be out either in some made up planet or here on like in the United States or whatever. Now it's in Africa, and then I don't know. It just I guess it's basically the costumes. Like everybody, like homeboy with the big metal plate in his lip, and then and then I don't know. It feels like it's gonna be so detailed with everything, with the storyline, with the costumes. I'm just really interested in seeing that whole backstory come together.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the head. Like, we're going to see, I think it's going to even feel a whole bunch of different, like, it's going to feel so different because of the environment. It's not like the Marvel Defenders universe where everybody takes a section of New York. I think I know New York so much more now because you have Daredevil in Hell's Kitchen, you got Luke Cage in another part, you got Jessica Jones in another part. It's like, how many superheroes do we need in New York right now? Like, really? Like, there's no crime happening out in Montana or Illinois? It's like, no. And to me, this almost feels like, okay, so this also gives me a little bit more of kind of like a Batman feel, but for Marvel, just because he's a superhero, or he's a hero in his own country to make it a better place. Like, there's clearly crime happening in this, and he is giving his life for this country because he loves it so much, and that's what Batman does. Whereas everybody else, it just seems like, yeah, I got superpowers. That's what happened. So where are we going with this? It's like Bruce Banner got hit with gamma rays, and it just happens. Robert Downey Jr. had to get out of a cave and saved himself, and then he decided, I'll just make a suit and make the perfect like crime fighting thing. But he's not like sitting there going like, Los Angeles needs a hero and I'm the hero that it deserves. It's like, no, he's just like, I'm a billionaire and I can do this, so why not just do it? Ant-Man was roped into it. Like, so I just think his motivations are on a higher level than all these other ones. And that's where I think, and I mean, even in Civil War, his motivations were, my father died, I think it's this guy, and I'm going to kill him for it. And it's like, everybody else is just like, hey, let's just fight each other because I don't agree with this guy, and I'm going to pick up this other kid, Spider-Man. And like, I don't know. This is my more, like, besides Thor 3, and that's just because of how cool it looks, Black Panther is like number one on my list right now because this just looks so different and it looks so amazing right now to me. I don't know.
And I also like the fact that we get to see, again, I need to do more research, I understand that, but that his chief of security, and then I think also his whole security staff is just basically like women. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of badass that he has that. So it's another take. You're not also introducing more ethnicity within the Marvel universe, but you're also going into also pushing women toward the forefront, which what DC is doing with Wonder Woman. So I feel as though they're cramming everything into this film that needed to be into the rest of the films.
Agreed. I think this is the Marvel movie we needed to like establish like, hey, we're like getting with the times. Because I will say there's a lot of talk and a lot of, because back when comics were made, there was a lot of just white heroes, right? They were made by white men. They were produced and put out there. And I mean, yeah, a lot of people like gravitated towards them, a lot of random kids. But nowadays, when you redo a superhero movie or a comic book, it's like, oh, well, we're going to get this white guy because it was originally a white guy. Whereas, say, like Nick Fury, when he was first written, he was drawn as a white guy. And then throughout the times, they altered him to be an African-American, which is fine and dandy. But now we've come to a conclusion or a realm almost in this day and age where if it didn't start out that way, then we'll change it. And then you get backlash or you don't get, or you say, oh, this isn't the right thing. Like, that's the whole thing with Iron Fist. Iron Fist in the comics was white, and then he you come to Iron Fist, the TV show on Netflix, and they're getting bashed because, oh, you made him white. No, he was originally white. Could we have put an Asian American in there? Sure, we could have, but we found this guy. We auditioned. They probably auditioned 10,000 people, and they were like, oh, this guy seems right to fit the character and whatnot. But nowadays, it's like, oh, this person is a white male, but we'll just change it up just because. And there was a Funhouse open house, or it was a talk or something, and they had an actor. I can't remember his name. I really feel bad, but he shows up in a couple of videos. But he talked about how if it's not out there, go make it now. So later down the road, when they do start making it into a TV show, it's already established. So if you don't see enough minorities in superheroes, start making it. And yeah, it might not be out right now, but it will be out at some point if you really push it and it really gets a lot of people going and it gets a lot of traction. And then it will be out there. Whereas now we're sitting there going like, we need a women's Ghostbusters. We need, like, instead of just changing it just to change it to be like, oh, this is why it's different. And Black Panther is a very great portrayal of that somebody wrote it and made it a long time ago, and now it's finally getting traction, and now it's going to be like, yes, this is what we all want, and this is a great portrayal, and this is just a great portrayal of a superhero that now another part of kids in a different society and different culture can say, I want to be Black Panther, and we're going to see like a whole bunch of Halloween costumes of Black Panther coming out and stuff, and I'm really excited for it.
I'm excited for the outfit just because it looks better than Catwoman's, like Halle Berry's version. So I'm just saying. I just think that they put a lot of effort into his outfit.
Yeah, I don't think he would have pulled off the leather and the whip as well. I'm just saying Halle Berry's got some curves.
You never know. He has some curves.
Yeah, and some of these comments on these is funny. One guy says Black Panther is way better than Captain America. At this point, I don't deny it. I do want to see 1 to 2 movies to like solidify it. I wouldn't say just because we had 3 movies and then 2 Avengers. We've seen a lot of Captain America to where it's like, yeah, I like this part of it, but I don't like this part of it. I still think Captain America, the First Avenger, is one of the best Marvel movies made. It tells a complete story. It has heart. It has action. I like it better than a lot of the other ones there's out there. But yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of people on both Reddit and Twitter and now YouTube comments that are like, yes, let's get this going. Let's do more. And I mean, and I'm excited for what they're doing. I mean, Wonder Woman just had a huge week in the first week it was out. I think it would have done way better the second week if it wasn't summer. And there's like new movies coming out every single weekend to where I think this is where we're going to see, if people don't go to the movies, more movies aren't going to make as much as you would think they would because they're like little bottom feeders. So they just nibble on the movies that are coming out. So Wonder Woman comes out to 103. This next weekend, it probably would have only dropped 30 to 40% if The Mummy didn't come out. And It Comes at Night and all these other movies that are just going to nibble at the profits. Yes, it made another $51 million supposedly from when we were recording this. But, I mean, it would have been way different if it came out during, say, a slower season like January and you don't have 10,000 movies coming out and you just have like these smaller ones. But that's what I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, obviously he's doing good where we're at because I tried to go see it on a Thursday night, almost completely sold out. I was forced to watch Baywatch. Well, I wasn't forced per se, but after seeing the movie, it wasn't that great. But I really, really wanted to see Wonder Woman. Hopefully, fingers crossed soon.
Yeah, and but going towards that, you have Wonder Woman doing amazing, and she's one of the first women superheroes of this like that's of recent movies that have come out. Like we haven't had just a standalone like women's movie. Like everybody talks about, oh, we need a Black Widow movie. Not necessarily true. I don't think we need a Black Widow movie. I think she's a great person in the ensemble, but I would rather watch a Scarlet Witch movie. And can we do it a prequel to the Avengers? Because I would like to see Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver again. No knock on who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movie. Because no knock on that guy, but come on, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Evan Peters.
Yeah, Evan Peters. I mean, he was good in that one movie with the Days of Futures Past. Right? Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. He was fine with that cool scene where he's like pushing all the bullets and whatnot, but I don't know. Aaron Taylor Johnson was made to be a superhero.
Well, with that one, especially in Kick-Ass, but with that one, they did two completely different ways. So that way, I can't really judge which one, because you have more of a dramatic, melancholy. Like there's a deep, dark story behind him with Aaron Taylor Johnson, but then you have Evan Peters, who it's almost like a comic relief. There's still a backstory there that you want to find out, but it's not really necessary. They keep saying, oh yeah, Magneto's my dad. You're just putting it out there, and it's made into an ongoing joke. So again, I can't really compare the two.
Yeah, and I don't think we got enough Aaron Taylor Johnson in the Avengers Age of Ultron. First of all, Age of Ultron is and then he just dies. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but he dies. You haven't seen it? Well, that's why he's not in Civil War. Did you see Civil War? Yeah, that's why he's not in Civil War. So, why wouldn't you see the second one? You saw the first one and the third one? Who doesn't go see the second one?
Okay, I tried to watch the first one. I won't get into the whole semantics of it, but I only got to watch like maybe 45 minutes of it. And then, yeah.
So half of the first one, none of the second, but I will watch the third one. But anyways, but then, so you have Wonder Woman doing fantastically. Black Panther's getting a lot of traction. First of all, the trailer looks amazing. Whoever did this trailer is fantastic. Like I did a Porky Pig. It's so good. I'm watching it still. I mean, Warner Brothers, find out who did this trailer and pick these guys to do the next trailer, because that Suicide Squad one did not do well. But and then you got Brie Larson gonna be playing Captain Marvel. So excited. Which I'm excited about that. I mean, I think this is the choice that they needed to make, and it was luckily that they picked her up, because I think, one, she's a great actress. I watched The Room twice in like a span of 24 hours, and that movie is phenomenal. She's great, and that little kid was amazing. And but I think this was a part that they needed to make, switch genders, just because they don't have, like, Marvel does not have a lot of strong female heroes in the forefront. If you look up Marvel like backgrounds, and they have a whole bunch of pictures of the superheroes, they'll have Spider-Man, Captain America, and all those at the front, and then they'll have like Jean Grey and Phoenix and all those other ones, Storm, up there, but they already have their X-Men movies already done. So I think with Captain Marvel, you make her Brie Larson, and I think that's the right thing to do, because they needed somebody. They need more diversity in this, I think, to make it more inclusive. And I just think this is way better. I think now Cyborg has to live up to a lot more to be in Warner Brothers, to give it a rich experience.
Well, that's true. And then I also, because you brought up Brie Larson, also another female superhero that they're going to push to the forefront is Dark Phoenix. I know we touched base on that. Sophie Turner is going to be in it, so I'm excited about that. Because again, I followed the whole entire like Dark Phoenix comic books and also the cartoons. So I think that's going to be a good film because that's going to be complicated as well with her backstory and all that. So yeah.
But that one's going to be done by Fox, right? Or is that going to be Marvel? Because I think the way she's set up, she's going to be Fox. So they better do that movie right, because they're kind of like Windows right now on operating systems. Every other one is good. So they really need to make that one, like, they need to put all their eggs, like, to make that one really well done. Because I know a lot of people are talking about it and really want that movie to do well. And I think Fox needs to have that movie do well.
Yeah, it's going to be Fox.
Yeah, so that's the one that they need to get right, I think. I think with Warner Brothers, they needed Wonder Woman to do fantastic, to save this whole Justice League thing that they are really just throwing through the fast forward button on, because they're just like, we need to get this out. We're kind of behind the 8 ball already, and these movies take a lot longer to make than we thought. So now they're putting out Justice League later this year in November, which is way, like, Marvel had everybody's movies come out, and then they were like, okay, and we alluded to all this beforehand, like 8 years ago, and now we're going to bring it out. Whereas Warner Bros. Is like, oh, we should have done that. That's right. And then it's like, man, we can't get Christopher Nolan back. We can't get Christian Bale back. We kind of don't have any of those people. So we're kind of really behind the 8 ball. Luckily, we did Man of Steel. It's like, at least we got that one. They're just like scrambling. So, but yeah, I think Black Panther is going to do fantastic. I think it's going to be one of the biggest grossing Marvel movies to date. Whenever it comes out, it's going to get way more than Spider-Man.
And just on a quick note, because if we go into a different topic, I just want to shout out also to the person for the teaser trailer who put Run the Jewels in as the music. That was on par with the selection of song you picked. And then, because I keep seeing Run the Jewels in different movies and all that, so I'm kind of excited that they're kind of getting more on the radar to more various crowds. So I just wanted to put that in as far as music.
Yeah, definitely. I just the whole vibe of it feels right, and it feels amazing, and it just feels like this is it. Like this is where I wanted it to go. Like when you watch a movie trailer and it like gives you goosebumps, that's how you know it's going to be just phenomenal. Like I haven't seen a movie trailer where I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to go see this like right now. I've always been like, I'll wait, or I'll see how I feel when it comes out. But this one just feels right. Like, and I'm telling you, I've been kind of burned out on these Marvel movies. It just seems like they're just throwing them out there, Especially, that's how I felt with Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd, but Ant-Man, I was like, I'll just wait for it to come out online and watch it, and then we'll see how it goes. And I'm not gonna lie, I was glad I did go to the theater to see it, but Black Panther is one that's like, I need to go see this. I don't care if I sit in a crowded theater, I'm gonna watch this movie. The perfect example is Deadpool. I went to see Deadpool Friday after work. My uncle came, picked me up, and then we went straight to the movie theater. And I don't ever do that. But I normally go to the gym and then we go Sunday. But I think he got off early Friday, and I was like, we need to go as soon as possible. And he was like, all right, cool, we're ready to go. And it's like, that's the kind of things that I want to see. Now, I will say I will not watch another Black Panther trailer after this one, because I don't want anything else being shown to me. I think it gave you enough, but it didn't give you too much, and it didn't give you too little information. It was just enough. I would like more Deadpool kind of stuff where it doesn't necessarily, more trailers don't necessarily give you any more of the movie, but to me, that's fantastic. Go see it. It just says coming soon. It didn't give a specific theater count. I will say, though, it said coming soon. It's not soon enough because it's not now.
Well, it's actually going to come out February 16, 2018.
Like I said, not soon enough.
Now, see, when I see certain movies like this that are just so good, it makes me die inside just a little bit because I'm not going to Comic-Con this year because I know they're going to do something really big and they're going to probably do one of the collector's bags as Black Panther. And I'm dying inside just a little.
Just a wee bit. All right, so we're going to turn our attention because the Black Panther movie, no matter what anybody says on Rotten Tomatoes, it's going to just make boatloads of money because everybody loves it. But there's still a lot of talk about Rotten Tomatoes and how Hollywood came to fear and loathe Rotten Tomatoes. That's the direct headline of a Vanity Fair article I came across on the internet. It came out June 9th, 2017, 12 p.m. And basically it's talking about how everybody's getting their movie information on Rotten Tomatoes. They see the Rotten Tomatoes meter, and then they're like, nah, I'm not going to go see a movie. And that's why we have Pirates making the least amount of money since the first Pirates came out. It still made over $70 million, but the second one made over $90 million, and then the next two after that hit like 100 and then 120, or 120 and then 100, and then it just went to 70, where the first one made 36 mil, around that. And then you have Baywatch, which kind of floundered in the water and only made like 23 mil. So, and I mean, even hold on. At the time of shooting this, I'm going to look at the estimates of the weekend estimates. It's not final at this moment, but the weekend estimates of The Mummy, which nobody in our bracket picked up, which I don't. Can I just say The Mummy was picked 0.1%? That means nobody picked it. Wow. People were like, no, that's okay. I will not pick The Mummy. Yeah, this is not even close to anything. Hold on. This is not good pod audio thing. Oh my goodness, what is this?
Well, you know it's bad. The Mummy is bad when the remake, when someone else dresses up as Brendan Fraser from the original Mummy to see the Mummy because they liked it so much. I'm just saying that they have to cosplay the original Mummy.
All right, so I got the numbers. Right now it's projected to make only $30 million this weekend. And from looking at it and hearing the budget, it's like over $100 million to make that movie. So this isn't a good stepping stone to Universal's Dark Universe. So everybody's saying how Hollywood hates it. There's been some talk from some directors that are like, I blame Rotten Tomatoes single-handedly for destroying the box office. My movie would have made more if it got a higher score. Well, but that also comes at you of, hey, why don't you make a better movie? Okay, so the next victim looks to be Tom Cruise's $125 million action horror film, The Mummy, as it only is going to make $30 million its first week. And the first week is when it makes the peak amount of money, and it's only going to make a projected around $30 million. So if that's the case, 125, and then all the marketing. So they normally say add either half or 100% of what it took to make it, and that's the marketing. So this could have been like $250 million venture for only $30 million at the box office right now. So they're saying it's all because of Rotten Tomatoes and how Hollywood hates it because people are being persuaded not to go see their movies. And I know we've talked about it before, but I came across this on Reddit, and then there was a comment the best comment on it, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but I read this comment, and I think it just hits the nail on the head. So I'm going to just read it real quick. I know it's going to be long, so just hang in there. Hold on. Do you have anything to say about this? Because I'm going to get some water before I start.
No, but I just kind of, an example came to mind when they're saying that Rotten Tomatoes, like, ruins their chances of their movie for people to see it. I know for The Nice Guys, that didn't do that well at all, and it was an amazing movie. Rotten Tomatoes scored at 92%. Mm-hmm. So, and even on the DVD, it says I was going to say tomatoes, on it, saying the score on it, like it was fresh. So it really, I don't see how it correlates with it.
Yeah, I think you stumbled on it. We should make our own segment on our YouTube called Spoiled Potatoes, where we review movies.
Can we?
Yeah, I think that's going to be in the talks right now. Okay. Spoiled Potatoes. All right, so this is what Reddit user Mooby the Golden Sock commented on this article. It says, I think studios are getting the wrong message from this. It's not Rotten Tomatoes. It's 2017. If it was not Rotten Tomatoes, it would be Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, etc. Years ago, if a movie was a runaway hit, Star Wars, or unexpectedly terrible, The Phantom Menace, you would hear about it on the nightly news, read it in the newspaper, or see it on the Siskel and Ebert show. Or you'd hear about it on work on Monday, but by then, the movie's already had an opening weekend. But now, you scroll through the social media on Friday morning and hear whether a film sucked, Rotten Tomatoes, or not. Also, did anyone actually think The Mummy was going to be good? Is anyone still watching Pirates films anymore? Did anyone even ask for a Baywatch film? Gosh, I love this guy. I feel like these in particular are 3 films where I didn't need to check the Rotten Tomato scores to know they were skippable. Likewise, I could tell from the first trailer that Get Out would be awesome. It's the hyped but troubled films like DC's Ventures or quietly released gems like Manchester by the Sea where Rotten Tomatoes really shines. I think it means edit. Rotten Tomatoes is not why films fail. Bad films fail because they are bad films, and filmmakers can't expect to ride on fumes anymore until word of mouth or print media catches up. It's 2017, and the internet exists. And I just think that's phenomenal. I gave that a standing ovation when I saw that, because it's absolutely what we've said, is just more eloquently, and it's got way more upvotes than what we've said on past podcasts. Basically, if it's a movie, like, I only go on Rotten Tomatoes, now to make videos, but when I used to go to look at movies, it was for the movies that I didn't know if I wanted to see or not. And then if I read some bad reviews or heard some bad reviews on social media or Reddit, then I'm like, all right, I'm not going to spend $12 to $13 going to go see that movie if I'm really not going to like it. And then come to find out, I mean, then you see Get Out, which from the moment I saw that trailer, I was like, I'm going to go see that whether it says 98% or not, which it was 100% for the longest time. And I went to go see it twice in theaters. And I was like, I'm going to pay over $10 to see this movie twice because I'm excited about it. The same thing with Slight. I mean, I don't think it got like rave reviews, but I still was like, I'm going to be excited to see this movie anyways. Whereas The Mummy came out and I was like, pass. So I think he's completely right. I think they're just trying to pass on the blame to somebody else. It's just like, it's not our fault our movies aren't getting the people out there. It's this other thing. And if it wasn't Rotten Tomatoes, it would be a different website or Reddit. Just like the guy said. I don't know why I'm keep on trying to explain what this guy already said and how great he said it. So what do you think about it?
No, case in point, my mom, she's not a movie buff whatsoever. She hears about blockbusters or whatever, huge films. And I have no idea what her source of reviews are because she doesn't go online. She's old school. She doesn't mess with that, especially Rotten Tomatoes. So I remember she telling me, I don't know if I want to see Pirates now because the reviews say it's not so great. And she was like all gung-ho. She's like, I really want to see it, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, let me know when you want to go. and we have not seen it yet. So, like you said, it doesn't matter the source of they're getting the reviews. They're getting the reviews somehow, some way, and they're going to listen to it or not. So versus other people who are kind of like, if they're more into movies, more into the entertainment, and they kind of go on their own, can't find words today, but on their own basis or whatnot, then they're gonna go anyways. Because I also feel as though audiences are now kind of, yeah, they're gonna go see the blockbusters, but I think they're more intrigued with seeing the sleeper films, because they're like, okay, well, what's this? This is kind of getting like a blimp in reviews, or they're, the awards are like paying attention to it or giving notice. So I think people are kind of swaying, going to more of the sleeper ones versus the blockbuster ones a little bit more.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. But I mean, and you have to also think about what the films are coming out. I mean, they're all sequels. They're all just normal, like run-of-the-mill things. I mean, I know we've talked about it before, but Transformers is not made for us, yet they keep making them and we still see them, but it's still going to decline in its ticket sales. And it's like, well, if we're not getting the good movies like Nice Guys, which Shane Black did a Reddit AMA to help promote the film, and he's like, I really want to keep making these kind of films, but the way, like he said in one of the AMAs, he was like, but with the way the studios are, if it's not a big blockbuster, it's going to be harder and harder to make these films, where we're going to be getting them on, we're going to get them on demand where we can buy them for 24 hours, or we can get them on the internet, like on Amazon. They start selling them on Netflix and stuff, because these bigger studios are going to be like, if it's not Star Wars or the other film, do you have another Transformers? If it's not that, then take your money and go.
What accent was that, and why did that person have that accent?
I don't know. I just thought of it, and then it just randomly came out that way. I went from Boston to like, oh, I went to like Boston and then Adam Sandler at the end, just like, oh, no, you don't like it. You better just go.
It sounded like it was like Adam Sandler doing that voice, but he was trying to impersonate like Matt Damon or something.
That's exactly what it was. But I think that's where it seriously gets, where people are just like, and like we said, people are so opinionated nowadays. Like everybody has their own thought process and stuff, and everybody has their own blog and stuff, and they can just write down what they want about a movie. And so to me, it's like, if it wasn't Rotten Tomatoes, it's going to be somewhere else. And I'm going to tell you right now, even Rotten Tomatoes is losing out on some of the stuff, because nobody, like we've talked about earlier, Rotten Tomatoes is not as credible as some people would say anymore. Like they're just like, oh, they either write bad reviews just to write them, or they just don't care. And so I think it comes to now friends and family are on social media all the time talking about these movies. They go to the midnight premiere on Thursday nights or something, and then the next day at work they talk on Friday and they're like, oh, how'd you like the movie? And it's like, it wasn't that great. Just like Baywatch. It was just like, when I came back to work after seeing it on Sunday, I was like, it was not what I expected, and it wasn't that great. And so it could have swayed people. And I don't think it's like, oh, I'm going to look on Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic or this, that, and the other and see it only has a 64, it only has a 34. It's like, also, that's just an arbitrary number. Like, it doesn't tell you, oh, I gave it a 60 on performance, I give it a 30 on the writing. It's just like, it's 64. 64 what? Like, I don't know what that means. Like, what's giving it that 64? What made it only have a D performance or whatnot? So I think people are so opinionated, but it's mainly because they just don't. And then they just, like I said, it's the ones where you don't know. That's where I go on Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes. It's the ones I don't know. Like Black Panther, I'm going to go see it regardless. But now, say a Manchester by the Sea, I'm going to be like, I wonder how good it is. And then you go to it and you see it has like a 98 and you're like, oh yeah, well, maybe I'll check it out. But it only comes down to what you read about it and what you think about it and all this other stuff. So Rotten Tomatoes is not killing Hollywood. It's big studios making the same drawn out, rundown ideas over and over and over again. So if people aren't going to your movie, make a better movie. And it's easy as that. I'm a fixer. Call me up. So we went from happy to just disgusted to now we're going to go to sad. It came out this past weekend on Saturday that a beloved legendary actor, Adam West, has passed away at the age of 88. Adam West starred as Batman in back in the day, 1960s. We're researching this as we speak, but he played Batman for a number of years. I remember watching it on TV Land at my grandma's house. Loved it. Loved every second of it. It was amazing.
Which I honestly can't believe it was only on for 2 years, 1966 and 1968.
Yeah, I remember my friend, as a gag gift, I bought the Batman movie with Adam West in it for his birthday at for $10. And we watched it, and we just cracked up at that. Getting the shark repellent. Oh, my goodness. That was fantastic. But, yeah, I just think it's really sad to lose a legendary actor like that and a personality. I mean, he was on Family Guy as the weird, wacky mayor, Adam West, and he played it fantastically. He was on a couple other TV shows, which he was fantastic at. But you can't be too sad because, one, he did leave his mark, and we do have him for years and years and forever and ever on TV and DVDs and stuff. And, I mean, he lived a long life, 88. Like, not a lot of people can say that they lived that long. So, I mean, I'm saying don't be too sad about it. This is more of a celebration of life. I know people get upset by that because they're just like, it's still sad. It is sad. Somebody passed, and it's always sad when somebody passes, but I think it's more of a celebration with Adam West. I mean, just watch some of those old Batmans, and you're just like, this is amazing.
Well, digging deep more into his IMDb credits, he played Batman for, even though it was just those 2 years for the actual TV show. He went into also doing Batman in 1977 for the New Adventures of Batman TV series, which was only 16 episodes. Then you have him also doing Super Friends, a legendary superpower show. Again, Batman in 1984, and then 1985 he did the series again. But it was the superpowers team Galactic Guardians. And then right beforehand, it was in post-production for this year, Batman versus Two-Face. He was doing Batman's voice. So again, you can just see he just sends over the years as Batman. So I think that's really cool. I didn't know that as far as him voicing a lot of other things for Batman.
Now, I will say it does seem like his life was cut short. I'm on his Wikipedia page, and it says that he died after a short battle with leukemia. So that's always very, very sad that happened. But I still think we can say he lived a very meaningful and rich life. I mean, I'm just looking at his film and television. He's had steady work since 1957. Like, what other actor can say that? Like 1957 to 2016, with a couple of short breaks in between that, was his film career. And then from 1958 to 2017, he's been doing television with voiceovers and actual being on like a Murder, She Wrote. Like, he was on like television forever. So, I mean, he lived a very rich, fulfilling life. So, but it's still very sad. He was on Fairly Odd Parents. I forgot about that. He was fantastic.
Oh, was he Catman?
Yeah, he was Catman.
See, and that's the thing I love about Adam West is because once he's in one thing and you get his voice down, you keep hearing him in so many different other things. And I love that he just did a lot of voiceovers for a lot of like kid cartoons.
And I love what he did because okay, so Family Guy, he's in Family Guy, right? Yeah. And he was somewhat crazy as Mayor West, yet it wasn't like they got somebody else to do the voice. He did the voice, and it was himself. He wasn't playing a character. It was technically himself. And he just went with it. Like, I never heard any backlash. Like, I don't like what they did with my character, Adam West, on the show. He just was like, yeah, this is cool. And, I mean, he kind of played the same way with Catman on Fairly Odd Parents, and they made him weird in that. And he's just like, to me, I feel like he's like, yeah, it does seem a little crazy that this guy is dressing up as a superhero and trying to fight crime. But you know what? I'm going to keep going with it. So, I mean, you just got to love that he had a sense of humor about probably himself and the whole Batman experience. And I mean, that's a guy that I think, because I remember watching the One Hit Wonders and stuff, and the guy who wrote the guy who wrote, I think it was Flock of Seagulls, the Flock of Seagulls song. And I ran. Yeah, that's it. I ran so far away. I couldn't think of it, and that's exactly what it was. But he says he hates playing that song. Like, he's like, I don't like that song. People in bars, when I go play bars, they always want me to sing it. I sing it for them, but I hate it every time. It's like, that's what you're known for, though. Like, just deal with it. Like, I get it. You're upset with that song because you played it a billion times in the 80s, and now you're here in the 90s and 2000s and 2017s, and just be happy that you're being noticed because there's struggling musicians that have not even come close to being even wanting someone to play their one song that they really like to play or like to play back in the day. So with this, it's like Adam West could have been the guy that's like, I don't want to be the crazy guy that was known to play Batman. I don't want to do this. But he embraced it. And I mean, I know he was on Conan a couple of times and doing like Comic Cons and stuff. So it's like, and he embraced it. He was like, this what made me and let me to have a steady career from 1957 to 2017. And I know he was in a lot of other stuff, but Batman really just took him over the edge, I think. And it was just like, made him a household name and whatnot. So it's like, he just embraced it. And it's like, that's what you need to do. Just embrace it. Embrace it, Flock of Seagulls. I don't even know your name, but I know your song and it's good. Just play it. Just play it for me. All right, that's enough.
They should be happy because they had their song featured on GTA, so they need to calm down with that. And I always play that song during SingStar competitions anyways.
Not bad, not bad. Did you have anything to add about Adam West?
Nah, it just sucks, man. I mean, I'm kind of reading over like people that tweeted, and I really wanted to see if Seth MacFarlane tweeted since he was a big part of that family being the mayor on their Mayor West for so long. And he tweeted out. And I think the main thing, I won't read out his entire tweet, but the main thing that he says that Adam West knew comedy and he knew humanity. And he just went on about how positive and good-natured person he was. So, and the fact that he lost, not only Family Guy lost their mayor, but he lost a good friend. So it's really sad seeing celebrities other people like that was close to him saying things like that. So.
And it was reported by the Hollywood Reporter, West's family issued the following brief statement. Our dad always saw himself as the bright knight and aspired to make a positive impact on his fans' lives. He was and always will be our hero. And I mean, if that was what you were set out to do, I think you nailed it. You killed it. And he was supposed to be, he had a role as the narrator on the short-lived NBC superhero show Powerless. Wow, it was canceled earlier this year. I would have watched it if I knew he was going to be the narrator. But I mean, I mean, everything he's done is amazing. So the impact he's had on his medium and his fans and everything is fantastic. And if you're a person in the entertainment industry, I think you aspire to be like that and try to where now millions and millions of people are writing about him on Twitter and saying RIP. And I mean, he's touched so many people in his lives due to the different medium. I mean, he's hit the older generation with the Batman. I mean, he's hit me with the Batman because I used to watch TV Land with my grandma. But then I watched Fairly Odd Parents. I've watched Family Guy. I've watched The Simpsons. I've watched Futurama. So I mean, he has Big Bang Theory. He's been on that. So I mean, he's hit so many different people throughout the generations, in so many different ways. So I mean, I think as an actor, you aspire to have like a career and the outlook and everything that he's had. So I mean, I think it's just sad that it just happened. Like, I think it's just sad that it happened, but I mean, he's just a fantastic guy. But I don't know. I don't want to end on such a sour note.
I'm like, this just like escalated all the way down as far as this. Like, I'm very melancholy at this point. So
yeah, let's talk about one more thing. I'm on screen right now, so let's just pick a topic and let's see how it goes. Aladdin remake.
Wait.
Is Guy Ritchie casting Tom Hardy as Jafar?
Okay. I'm all for Tom Hardy whatsoever, which RIP to his dog. His dog passed away, and my heart goes out to him. And I know Tom Hardy put out a statement, which made me cry. But I just don't see him, because I know Tom Hardy's going to be Venom. So, which I'm completely and utterly for. I'm so jacked for that. But as far as Tom Hardy being Jafar, I don't know about that whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know about Jafar. I just don't know. I know, trust me, I think he can play anything he wants to, but I just don't, when I think of Jafar, I don't think of Tom Hardy. Yeah, I don't necessarily like that idea, but apparently Guy Ritchie came out and said he really wants to get Tom Hardy, but yet it hasn't been like announced yet or signed to be like permanently on that. So I don't know. The film nears its July start date. So unless they're gonna film around all the Jafar scenes for now, trying to get Tom Hardy, I feel like they're gonna have to go with Plan B or C or not Tom Hardy, and that just rhymed. So call me that. Of course, since Aladdin will be musical, that means Hardy may be required to sing some tunes if Hardy wants to do it. So Hardy, if you want to sing, sign up. Not, don't waste your time.
I'm just going again for the physique of it and saying again, I'm going off the animated Disney, and I just don't see how that is. I don't no. And I mean, okay, I rather see him as Jafar than I see Will Smith as Genie, which I know has been going around. And I'm on IMDb right now, and they have Will Smith's name listed for that. So I'm already like out completely if he's Genie. That is such a hard role to cast because of Robin Williams. So, I mean, I just feel they could get someone else. I understand Will Smith is crazy and out there when he gets into his comedic performance, but no, not. I'm getting angry. I can't talk.
I don't know. I think it has all of its like, it's being knocked down like a little bit every other time. So you have, I'm not a huge fan of Guy Ritchie. I'm not a huge fan of him, and this whole King Arthur thing doesn't bode well for making me want to see it, this Aladdin remake. So with that, and then having an iconic role that Robin Williams made iconic, to now just, I wasn't going to see it. No, I don't think I was going to see it no matter who they put as Genie, let alone if it's Will Smith. I think he could bring people to the thing, but I mean, he hasn't done a great movie since forever.
I know with Guy Ritchie, I really liked the Sherlock films. The first one was the best that I think he did. I think he was back in his element with making that particular film. But I haven't seen The King Arthur, so I don't know if it's good or not. Because again, it didn't do that well. I'm kind of intrigued with it. But yeah, I think Sherlock was the last one that I saw of his movies. That was really good.
Yeah, I'm looking through Will Smith's movies, and I'm not particularly impressed at anything that I'm seeing as like recently released. So I don't know. I think this is a movie that's gonna be. I'm just gonna watch it when it comes to online because I'm not particularly. I loved Aladdin as a kid, but with everything that's going on with this film and what they're trying to do, I'm not particularly impressed. And with how many more Disney remakes there are going to be and how much money I would have to spend to watch all 19 of them in the theater, I think I'm going to select and choose, and I'm going to select to not see this one in theaters. That's just my opinion.
Well, if they did exactly what they did with Beauty and the Beast, where they don't really touch the script that much from the original Disney animated film, they added touches here and there, which makes more sense that the other animated film didn't touch base on. I think it's gonna be big for the movies. But if they're going to go ahead and try to put their own spin to it, then it may falter. I'm still going to go see it because I'm a huge Disney fan. So, I don't know. I just, again, with the casting, I'm not too fond of Aladdin thus far.
I want to say this one last thing, and I want to ask you a question. Do you think there will be a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference that Genie makes in Aladdin?
That is a very hard question. Why would they? I mean, I don't know. Maybe?
I only asked that question because Genie in the cartoon did a lot of references to pop culture. So they have Will Smith as the Genie, and the demographic that's going to go see this movie grew up on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I'm thinking that they're going to try to throw in a little Easter egg of, this here, he makes pop culture references. The genie's going to be summoned and he's going to be like spinning on the chair upside down when he gets called or something. Or like there's going to be or he's going to do a victory dance and it's going to be Carlton's victory dance or something. For some reason, I have that in my mind. Like, the demographics that's going to go see this is going to, and they play it all the time on like TBS or something during the day. So even younger kids are going to be watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm just throwing that out there just because of the pop culture references, and they have Will Smith in this movie. Like, and I could just see the internet blowing up with, did you see the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was in the Aladdin remake? Oh my gosh, they threw this in there. It's fantastic.
With that, hopefully not. I really don't. I mean, if they're smart enough, they'll do exactly what they did with how Robin was, because most of his lines were just improv. It wasn't off a script or anything. It was just Robin being Robin. So I don't know if they're going to do that with Will Smith, if he's just going to improv, which I don't know. I mean, he can. I'm not going to deny that. But to that caliber of what Robin did with his. So I just hope not, but I see where you're going with it. It makes sense if they did. It would get people more in there. I don't know. Yeah.
I just don't think. I think if you're going to go into this Aladdin remake movie, you go in not even remembering Robin Williams' Genie, because I think you will be utterly disappointed if you're expecting anything close or similar to it. With that, I think we've hit our time. So. So we talked about Black Panther teaser trailer that just came out, Aladdin remake, our ode to Adam West, and Rotten Tomatoes for the last time. We're not going to be talking about it. I swear we will not talk about it anymore. And so that'll be it for this week. So until next time, bye.